Still very, very dull. So still a little bit of a chip up here by the tip. This is pretty deep. Take that out a little bit. As you can see, this is not honing. This is all restoration. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to drop down to about a 20 degree, more like a knife edge. And I'm going to start doing a little bit of circles there too. I'm pushing that heel in a little bit as I do this. I want to keep that heel back. Taking off a lot of steel. So we don't want that heel to be a problem. The other side, about 20 degree, cutting circles. I'm going to come back on the heel a little bit. I'm actually have the tip of the blade off of the plate, and I'm rolling that shoulder back right here. I'm actually rolling the shoulder back away from the heel. Back down on the whole blade, still at about a 20 degree angle, sort of like honing a knife. If you notice, I've switched from a toe forward to a heel forward circle now. As I'm getting closer and closer to putting that spine back on the plate, I'm getting closer and closer to honing a razor rather than restoration technique. I use circles back and forth. Japanese honing is what it's called. And I use both. Right now I'm just cutting steel, not really honing a razor. Believe it or not, there's starting to be an edge on there. Okay, now remember, I have 3 layers of tape on this. I was at a 20 degree knife honing stroke. Now I'm dropping down to almost to the spine. I'm going to do about 20 circles or so. Heel forward. What I'm feeling for is to make sure that I don't have any problems as that heel starts to come into play now as I get closer and closer to flat. Other side. Okay. I'm going to put just a touch more soap on there, just a little bit. You can use shaving lather. Keeps this moving. It also keeps the surface tension off there. Okay, I'm going to drop to the spine in a regular honing stroke here. I'm going back and forth because I'm cutting away that shoulder as I do it. So I'm really pushing down here. I want it totally out of the way. You can hear it. Okay, that shoulder is being cut away as I do this. I'm actually lifting the tip or the toe off as I've cut away that shoulder. I've taken off quite a bit of steel, so we don't want that shoulder in the way when I start honing. Okay, on the spine now. I'm flat in a razor position, and I'm going to go with 3 layers of tape, and I'm going to start doing circles. Now if you hear that shoulder's not hitting anymore. Switch sides. Also, I should mention that I'm really torquing towards the edge on this. I'm really pushing right here on this corner of the tang. So I'm pushing very hard towards the edge. I got a lot of torque going towards the edge as I do this. I'm going to actually try a few X strokes on here. I believe I'm getting pretty close now. And I'm using a lot of pressure. I'm pushing down quite a bit. Okay. I'm going to still have some corrosion near the edge, which I can see with my naked eye. Keep in mind, this razor is here for restoration. It's not just here for honing. What I needed to determine is if there's any clean steel there that I can get to before I start restoring it, pulling all those pits out of there. If all I'm going to have is what we call Swiss cheese edge or a crumbling edge, there's no sense in doing any more work to the razor. I'm looking at it under the loop, see if I actually have clean edge, which I do, believe it or not. Okay, we're going to go 1. Remember, there's 3 layers of tape on this, and I'm giving it quite a bit of pressure now. Okay, now it's time. We're going to switch from pure restoration into a bit of honing now. 1 layer of tape's coming off. Now I have 2 layers of tape on there. Again, the circles. And I do somewhere between, no, I don't know. I really don't even pay attention. I target 20, but I know I'm doing more than 20. I'm still not honing the razor, so it doesn't matter. I'm trying to get an established bevel. The reason I'm doing the X strokes and the regular strokes is to I'm not really trying to sharpen the razor. I'm really pushing back on the heel portion right here to make sure those shoulders are out of the way. Make sure I took those back enough. Remember, I took off a little bit of steel there, so that shoulder becomes an issue now. Heel and shoulder, the contour has to follow the edge. I don't know whether you've ever seen those razors that are pretty old. They'll have a hook back here. It looks just like a little hook where the heel is. In fact, well, I don't know. There's just a little tiny bit of a hook beginning there because of all the steel I've taken off. And that's exactly what happens, and we don't want that. See, now I'm running the shoulder off right now. That's exactly what I'm doing. Okay.